Call of Duty is a 2003 first-person shooter video game developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision, the first installment of the Call of Duty video game series. The game simulates the infantry and combined arms warfare of World War II. The game is based on the Quake 3 Team Arena engine. It was accompanied in September 2004 by an expansion pack, Call of Duty United Offensive, which was produced by Activision, and developed by Grey Matter Interactive, with contributions from Pi Studios. Call of Duty is similar in theme and gameplay to Medal of Honor, as it is made out of single-player campaigns and missions. However, unlike Medal of Honor, the war is seen not just from the viewpoint of an American soldier but also from the viewpoint of British, Canadian, and Soviet soldiers. The game was somewhat unusual at the time in that throughout the single-player mode the player is joined by computer-controlled allies who range in quantity from 2 infantrymen to an entire regiment of tanks. The computer-controlled allies will support the actual player during the missions. They also further the game's goal of providing an immersive and realistic experience. That is, soldiers in World War II were usually part of a larger group, as opposed to the lone wolf seen in video games such as Medal of Honor. However, there are some missions where the player is alone. The hardened and prestige editions of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, released on November 10, 2009, includes a redemption code to download the game for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, giving it a new title, Call of Duty Classic. Gameplay. As a first-person shooter, Call of Duty places the player in control of an infantry soldier who makes use of various authentic World War II firearms in combat. Each mission features a series of objectives which are marks on the heads-up display's compass. The player must complete all objectives to advance to the next mission. The player can save and load at any time, rather than the checkpoint system utilized in later Call of Duty games. The player has 2 primary weapon slots, a handgun slot, and can carry up to 10 grenades. Weapons may be exchanged with those found on the battlefield dropped by dead soldiers. Unlike later Call of Duty games, the first allows the player to toggle between different firing modes. Call of Duty was one of the early first-person shooters to feature iron sights in gameplay. By pressing the corresponding key, the player aims down the actual sights on the gun for increased accuracy. In addition to weapons carried by the player, mounted machine guns and other fixed weapon emplacements are controllable by the player. The game uses a standard health points system, with a limited amount of health reflected by a health bar. Medkits scattered throughout the levels or dropped by some foes are used to restore health when the player is injured. Call of Duty also featured shell shock. When there is an explosion near the player, he momentarily experiences simulated tinnitus, appropriate sound muffling effects, blurred vision, and also results in the player slowing down, unable to sprint. As the focus of the game is on simulation of the actual battlefield, the gameplay differs from many single-player shooters of the time. The player moves in conjunction with allied soldiers rather than alone. Allied soldiers will assist the player in defeating enemy soldiers and advancing, but the player is given charge of completing certain objectives. The game places heavy emphasis on usage of cover, suppressive fire, and grenades. AI-controlled soldiers will take cover behind walls, barricades, and other obstacles when available. Campaign. American Campaign. The American Campaign begins with Private Joe Martin, member of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, training at Camp Taco in Georgia, United States on the 9th of August 1942. After that, the action jumps to the 6th of June 1944, when Martin is tasked with setting up a radio beacon for other paratroopers participating in Operation Overlord. The paratrooper drops end up being scattered, leaving Martin in a mixed unit formed from various companies. This mixed unit clears nearby farmhouses of German soldiers. The following mission has the group capture St. Mir-Eglise and disable several flak panzers. Just at the beginning of June 6, a paratrooper is seen hanging from the town church. The third mission occurs later that morning, with the U.S. troops holding St. Mir-Eglise from German counterattack. The fourth mission has Martin, along with Private Elder and Sergeant Moody, driving from St. Mir-Eglise to St. Marie-du-Mont along Highway N13, while fending off German assaults. The fifth mission is the Brecourt Manor assault, still on June 6, in which the U.S. troops destroy German artillery at the manor, which has been hindering progress at Utah Beach. After this mission, it is revealed that Martin's unit will be detached from the 101st Airborne Division for special missions behind enemy lines. Due to outstanding performance, the sixth mission sees Martin's unit attempting to rescue British officers Captain Price and Major Ingram from a mansion in Austria. Martin's unit rescues Price but not Ingram, but Price reveals that Ingram was moved to a POW camp. The seventh mission sees Martin's unit infiltrating the camp and rescuing Ingram in under 10 minutes before the arrival of German reinforcements. In the final mission, Martin's unit takes part in the Battle of the Bulge as they secure documents from German bunkers and destroy 2 Panzer tanks with captured artillery positions. British campaign. The first mission of the British campaign has Sergeant Jack Evans and a unit from 2nd Ox and Bucks of the 6th Airborne Division take part in Operation Tonga. Just after midnight on 6 June 1944, the unit is dropped from Horsa gliders alongside the Caen Canal near Pegasus Bridge, Benouville. They capture the bridge and defend it from the nearby German forces. Captain Price participates in this operation and several other missions as the commanding officer, although most of these missions occur before his rescue. In the next mission, just past noon of the same day, the unit protects the bridge from German counterattack, which includes several tanks. They hold the bridge until reinforcements from the 7th Parachute Battalion arrive. The third mission, on the 2nd of September, has Evans working alone, now with the Special Air Service or SHASH. He is inserted next to the Eder Dam and destroys the anti-aircraft guns protecting it. During Operation Chastise the previous May, the No. 617 Squadron RAF destroyed the dam using bouncing bombs. However, the Germans had rebuilt it. Evans is extracted by Price and Sergeant Waters after the mission. The fourth mission shows Evans, Price and Waters fleeing from pursuing German forces. The fifth mission sees Evans, Price and Waters finally arriving at a German airport near Eder Dam. Evans uses an anti-air gun against German bombers and soldiers to cover Price and Waters as they procure a FW-200 plane, which the squad uses to escape. The sixth mission features Evans, Price and Waters disguised as German Navy sailors infiltrating the battleship Tirpitz in Norway to sabotage key naval equipment and obtaining a naval log for future RAF raids on the battleship. The mission succeeds, but Price is killed during the mission. The seventh and final mission of the British campaign shows Evans, Waters and their squad near Bergsteinfurt, Germany, with their objective to destroy mobile V-2 rockets and key German supplies. Evans, Waters and their squad successfully destroy the V-2 rockets. Soviet campaign. The first Soviet mission occurs during the Battle of Stalingrad, on 18 September 1942. Corporal Alexei Ivanovich Voronin is on one of many barges transporting Soviet soldiers across the Volga River, many of which are destroyed on the way by German artillery or Luftwaffe aircraft. Once across, Voronin is unarmed and must avoid machine gun fire and find an experienced sniper to help him. Soviet artillery eventually clears out the German machine guns, allowing Voronin and the others to enter Red Square. The second mission begins in Red Square with many retreating Soviet soldiers being killed by fellow Soviets. Voronin helps capture the square, which is defended by 2 tanks and some machine guns. After killing the German officers who were calling reinforcements, Soviet artillery destroys the tanks. The unit makes their way through the rubble-filled streets to a railway station. In the next mission, Voronin travels through the train station and part of the city to reach Major Zubov of the 13th Guards Rifle Division. Following this, Voronin is promoted to junior sergeant. The fourth mission, on the 9th of November, has Voronin moving through the sewers to avoid snipers, making his way to an apartment building recently captured by the Germans. The fifth mission has the unit, under the command of Sergeant Pavlov in Voronin, capture and defend the apartment building. First, Voronin acts as a counter-sniper while another soldier draws the fire of the snipers in the building. The unit then clears the building of Germans and defends it from the German counterattack. The sixth mission occurs much later, on the 17th of January 1945, with Voronin promoted to full sergeant, and now part of the 150th Rifle Division of the 3rd Shock Army. The unit secures a German tank repair facility in Warsaw in the midst of the Vistula-Oder offensive. The next mission takes place just after securing the facility, with the unit making their way to the outskirts of the factories to regroup with the 4th Guards Tank Army. Along with other tanks, he makes his way toward a town near the Oder River. The ninth mission is also fought in the tank, with Voronin destroying some anti-aircraft weapons and securing the town. In the final mission, on the 30th of April 1945, Sergeant Voronin is returned to the 150th Rifle Division. His unit battles in Berlin to reach the Reichstag building, and they raise the victory banner atop the building and ending the war. Reception. Call of Duty received critical acclaim from many video game publications. It won several Game of the Year awards for 2003 from several reviewers. It was the recipient of the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences 2004 Game of the Year award, defeating games including Command & Conquer, Generals, Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, Postal 2, and Rise of Nations. The game also received Computer Game of the Year and Computer First-Person Action Game of the Year, and was nominated for Outstanding Innovation in Computer Gaming, Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition, and Outstanding Achievement in Sound Design in the Interactive Achievement Awards. It was also nominated for Best Game at the 2004 Game Developers' Choice Awards. While it did not receive that award, it did win Infinity Ward, the Rookie Studio of the Year. Chuck Crossum was also presented with the Excellence in Audio award for his work on the game. IGN rated the game 9.3/10, with reviewer Dan Adams saying, "You have to love a game that glues you to your seat and keeps you interested. A thrilling piece of software that action fans should grab a hold of and love fiercely." His only negative critique was on the short length of the game, which many reviewers pointed out. The game has sold 4.5 million copies. Sequels. Call of Duty spawned numerous spin-offs and sequels, part of the Call of Duty series. Its expansion pack Call of Duty United Offensive was developed by Grey Matter Interactive and released September 14, 2004. Call of Duty 2 was also developed by Infinity Ward and was released in October 2005. Some Call of Duty spin-offs were developed exclusively for consoles, such as Call of Duty Finest Hour by Spark Unlimited and Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1 by Grey Matter Interactive. Call of Duty 3, the first sequel to appear on consoles only, was released in November 2006 and developed by Treyarch and Pi Studios. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, developed by Infinity Ward, was released for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Macintosh and the PC. A Wii version was developed by Treyarch, called Call of Duty Modern Warfare Reflex. A handheld version was also produced for the Nintendo DS. Another handheld game, Call of Duty Road to Victory was released March 14, 2007 for the PlayStation Portable, the N-Gage, and the Pocket PC. On December 3, 2007 it was announced that Call of Duty: World at War would be developed by Treyarch. It was released November 11, 2008 in the US, for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii and the PC, and on November 14, 2008 in Europe. A sequel to Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare called Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2 was released worldwide on November 10, 2009 for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC. Much like Infinity Ward before them, Treyarch has left the World War II battlefield and now heads into the Cold War era, which includes the Vietnam War, titled Call of Duty: Black Ops, which was released on November 9, 2010. A sequel to Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2 called Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 3 was released November 8, 2011. It was released for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PC, Wii, and the Nintendo DS handheld. A sequel to Call of Duty: Black Ops, Call of Duty: Black Ops 2, was released on November 13, 2012 for Microsoft Windows, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. The Wii U version was released on November 18, 2012. A new entry in the series called Call of Duty: Ghosts was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, Wii U, and Xbox 360 on November 5, 2013. Ghosts is the first Call of Duty game available on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as launch titles for both consoles on November 15, 2013 and November 22, 2013 respectively. Another new entry in the series, made by Sledgehammer Games, Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare, was released on November 4, 2014 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, with High Moon Studios developing PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 ports of the game. Black Ops 3 was released in November 2015, developed by Treyarch. It is available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC ports. Call of Duty Classic is a downloadable version of Call of Duty for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, featuring HD resolutions. Tokens to download the game ahead of its release were sold along with special, hardened, and prestige editions of Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2, and the game was publicly released on December 2, 2009. IGN rated this version 7.5, citing it as not well adapted to the consoles, as well as criticizing the multiplayer for only supporting up to 8 players.